ball is wrapped on the pad and flicked up in the air.
It's interesting as well because he's an off spinner, but he's got in a slip here. So Skipper Stewart is thinking that the only way to stop the scoring here is to continue to get wickets, which is indeed correct. And this one is keeping low, as we've seen throughout proceedings thus far, wrapping Hamilton on the pads, but not in line with the stumps, so no chance of a wicket there.
Again, into the pitch and nicely worked. Just into the onside by Hamilton, who gets himself off the mark.
Score goes along to 70 now.
Well, that's almost a collision between the non-striker and the bowler as he tries to field off his own bowling.
There's a lot happening there. The non-striker was taking evasive action from the ball being hit back from his teammate. He also almost had a collision with the bowler, so he's done a lot of evasive work there. Good work here from the Americans, going into the pitch to Finley, not giving him any width as well, so he's trying to get under the ball, but not much to work with, not having the bat speed to get under the ball as well, so good end to that over.
Yeah, so 8 overs gone. Finley's still there at the beginning, just the 2 wickets to fall around him. Both for 18, just slightly different with the strike rates there. And it's Captain Hamilton who's joined Finley out in the middle. And we continue with left arm spin. Nice looking sweep and good quick running between the wickets again. I mean, he's very tall, so he does eat up the yards between the sticks.
He is quite a quick mover, Finley. Coming through there for what would have probably been a tight single with other players. Captain choosing to continue with the slip as well.
It's been done by the turn there.
Well bowled, giving it a bit of flight, but taking it wider from the batsman, asking him to try and reach for the ball. This one a bit flatter and faster into the pitch.
He's not quite timing it. Yes, he's been out there since the middle, but he's never looked overly comfortable. You know, you don't just assume that he's found his flow now. He's still trying to find it a little bit. He's not quite timing it, not quite finding the middle of the bat.
It's not a pitch where you can sort of muscle the ball here. I think you have to stroke it, as you see Hamilton pushing this one down to long off for another single. Finley has been trying to power hit the ball, but he's not getting much to work with in terms of bounce or assistance from the pitch to allow him to play that type of game. Having said that, he's gone long under this one. The bowler's given him a bit of air to work with, and he's gotten under this one and lifted it over the head of long on for 6. 6 more runs to the Americans. Finley finally getting rid of those shackles and powering this one over the head of the man at long on out there.
Yeah, that went a very long way, and he was definitely not in the need of running. He just watched it soar over the boundary, and actually I think it went over the hoardings as well behind that, the advertising hoardings. So it was a bit of a game of an American having to go and locate the ball.
Score has moved on to 79 for 2 now from 8.5. Finley again goes over the head of the bowler, the man at long off, coming around and doing some very good work there. Managed to keep it in the field of play and restrict the batters to 1 run. So very good work there by the man at long on.
Yeah, that closes out the 9th over. the Windies, 80 for 2.
Seems to be a substitute fielder. It's not a substitute fielder, it seems to be the arrival and introduction of Sheldon Cottrell to the game. Don't know what's happened there, but he's now on the field at the long off boundary. Seems to be a bit chilly. Trying to keep himself warm. The best way to do that, I would say, is to go and have a bowl, Sheldon, as we've got 5 voids here. Down the leg side. Keeper wasn't able to get across in time, and score races along to 85 for 2 from 9 overs.
Yeah, Sheldon Cottrell just down in front of us, jumping up and down on his feet, getting himself warm. I mean, you're only 9 overs late. You've got time to warm up. That's nicely played. A little bit of hesitation. There's a chance of a run out.
That's got to be out. That's got to be out. That was suicidal.
Yeah, he's gone. Well, it really was, wasn't it? There wasn't a run there. And I think
that was too close to the wicket keeper, who scampered from behind the stump, picked up and threw the stumps down at the striker's end. Jamal Hamilton wasn't anywhere in the picture, and he's gone, run out for 3. So the Americans today have been very good at hitting the stumps most of the times that they've thrown
done their
at the
target
stumps.
practice.
And so I think that the Windies team should take cue from that and know that it's not any one fielder in particular, but as a collective, a good fielding team, the Americans, and so you don't want to push them unnecessarily, especially when you're getting scoring options. You've just had a 5 wide to start the over, and you're already 85 for 3 now from 9 overs. Seems to be a drinks break. Everyone's leaving the field.
Well, the American side seem to have decided that they're off to have a drink, but the umpires are now calling them back, and the Windies batters are out there just waiting in the middle. Jonathan Foo's come out to the middle. He's just having a shadow hit, but this was that run out. Really quick work. Turn and throw, off balance. I mean, he's out by miles, but it's really good work.
He's taken 3 steps from behind the stumps, turned, threw it all in the same motion. So the strategic timeout here has been taken a bit earlier and over earlier than planned, in alignment with the fall of the wicket of the Windies skipper Hamilton.
Now, I went to see Hamilton, the play, on stage in London last week, so now all I can hear, and I'm really having to stop myself starting singing, because it's not something anyone needs to hear, whatever time of day it is where you're tuning in to this American Premier League. But I hear Hamilton, and I'm really having to not sing, and you don't need it. Maybe later, maybe I'll save it for another day when you're not stuck next to me. If you're playing, then you won't have to listen to it. But yeah, I'm really trying not to sing, basically. Maybe that's just the excitement of the cricket, who knows. But it looks like things are about to get back underway. The American team, I'm excited to say, are all still on the field. So that's tick box 1. Jonathan Fu has come out to the middle, yet to face, and he's there alongside Sean Finley, going along nicely, his 32 off 30. And the Windies up to 85 for 3 inside 10 overs. That's given a bit of flight and dug out just by Finley, by Fu with his first delivery he's faced today, as he surveys the field. Still that right-hand, left-hand combination with Finley out there. Well, they've thought about running. There's another bit of football footwork going on by these American fielders.
Lots of confusion out there. The Americans are putting a stronghold on this game with their disciplined fielding that's clawing them back into the game. This has been a good over so far.
He's bowling with a bit more pace, I find. Sort of
seems to be a lot more comfortable to the right-hander than the left-handers.
Yeah, and he's sort of darting it in at Fu, isn't he?
Some quick leg spinners that aren't spinning too much, wicket to wicket. Asking the batter to take chances from balls in line with the stump. Fu works it away through mid-wicket here for a single to end the over. Just 6 from it, and a wicket. Good over for the Americans.
Yeah, didn't start well at all with the 5 wides that over, but backed up with the wicket. And halfway through their innings, the Windies find themselves 86 for 3. As a plane flies overhead, and it's still very windy out there. You can see the flags fluttering away, and it's more than a breeze.
And you've got Sheldon Cottrell being introduced into the attack.
Nice pair of bright orange boots he's got on.
Santa has come early with the orange boots. It fits in with the colours of Houston, so Cottrell sort of matched accordingly for the Houston colourway with his orange boots. I know that my wife is quite a big fan of orange. Her and her friend Andrew. Andrew, I'm not sure if you're listening, but they've had an orange theme joke happening for the past month, so Cottrell must have been informed of the orange and taken cue.
I love a bit of orange. Anything that makes me look slightly more tanned, and I'll wear it. It's been all about the pink this year, though, with the Barbie theme, which I admit I did watch again on the flight yesterday.
Fortunately enough, it's all Ken's here today.
I don't know if there was ever a cricket Ken or a cricket. We need a cricket Barbie. Why is there no cricket Barbie? Mattel, if you're listening, make it happen. Well, Jonathan Fu, just the one from his 5 so far, and Cottrell kicks up his heels at the top of his mark. Well, he's not timed that. He's found the under edge and almost played onto his own stumps, but they come through for the 1. There's another set of orange boots there, actually.
Quite a few pairs out there. The batter, Finley's also in a pair of orange boots. So everyone's come with
a bit of flair.
A bit of flair, understanding that the tournament is taking place in Houston, and that is a colour of choice for the city.
Good start this from Cottrell. He's got his pace early. That high delivery stride that he has, he sort of skips up really high in the air.
Someone of his experience as well. Hasn't taken much for him to see that he needs to go into the pitch, bowl the ball back of a length and not give the batter much to work with, and he's done that on 3 occasions now into the pitch. And he's got a strong field set to support this type of bowling as well. As I mentioned, when the skipper Stewart was bowling, to probably have the mid-off in the circle instead of long off. Cottrell has gone with that option, and he's got a third man and a sweep on the offside with a long on, deep mid-wicket and deep backward square. And has been very disciplined to that as well. Again, going into the pitch for a 4th ball in a row.
Yeah, and I don't think they'll mind the ones.
This is where Cottrell's experience is going to be invaluable for the Americans. Because obviously, having lost 2 wickets quickly there in past few overs, the Windies are trying to rebuild their innings, and to get away with a few overs here quickly is going to be very, very valuable for the Americans.
Oh, he's got to go back and start that one again. Yeah, this has been a good first over from Sheldon Cottrell. Get that squeeze on, make them then feel like they have to start making something happen. Yes, Finley's been out there since the middle, but he has slowed down. He's going at 100 strike rate. Jonathan Fu yet to find his rhythm. Just the 3 from 7 for him so far, and just the 3 coming from this first Cottrell over.
This is a run-out opportunity. The wicketkeeper misses. Great opportunity there. Finley got wrapped on the thigh pad, just took off running, didn't know where the ball went. Keeper scampered across quickly. Brilliant work. Only thing missing was for him to hit the target. Had a bit more time than he probably thought there. He could have gathered himself, because Finley didn't try to even get back into his crease. He was that far down. He stood and looked with his fate in the wicket-keeper's hands, and fortunately for him, the keeper missed the stump, and he lives to fight another day. But
yeah, well, we saw him with that run out earlier, didn't we, to get rid of Hamilton. Absolutely fantastic bit of work, off balance, came out from behind the stumps, and absolute screamer of a run out. This one was slightly more regulation, but like you say, he perhaps went a bit too early, had more time than he realised he did. He had a chance to get himself set. He had all 3 stumps to aim at.
Fu works this away into the short square leg area. The man from the 45 runs around and picks it up. Another single. Score moves on to 91 for 3 here.
I was just having a look at Sheldon Cottrell out in front of us. He looked like he was just shaking his leg a bit at the end of that last over, but he seems all right.
Fast, full wide, mixing it up here. Just a bit too wide, but not trying to give the batter in Finley too much of the same thing. Finley's strike rate has come down to exactly 100 now, so that reflects as to how much control the Americans bowlers have had on proceedings of the past 4 to 5 overs.
Well, Hamza really liked that, didn't he? I mean, I think he was pretty much the only one went up for it, but there was a repeating call, and there's now a wry smile on the face of the bowler.
Yeah, I think Hamza was the only one in all of most of that like that.
That's darted in, and they'll just come through for the one. Yeah, like I was saying, Sheldon Cottrell looked like he was just sort of shaking his leg a little bit. Don't know what he might have done in that over. I don't know. I think it's just getting into the rhythm a bit. He seems absolutely fine now. Looks like he's just got cold hands.
Not sure he's had a chance to warm up. He's just come straight onto the field. And here's a wicket. Hamza liked this one as well. Jonathan Fu coming forward, being wrapped on the pad. Straight on. Not much spin on offer here. And the Windies are falling away. The Americans are coming back into it. Wicket to wicket stuff. You miss, I hit.
Yeah, it's really good work that by Hamza. He was the only one appealing really again there, but the umpire was convinced. And actually, yeah, really good. 4 wickets down now. This American side, obviously the Windies got off to that hell of a start. And they've been dragged back. Some economical bowling, wickets falling at regular intervals now. And that'll bring Raj Nanan out to the middle.
The Americans will be definitely happier of the two teams at the moment, striking regularly, restricting the scoring. And the Windies will need a partnership from these two left-handers at the crease at the moment. Ideally for them, this is the pair that they would want to spend some time with there as well, to navigate Hamza, the left-arm spinner, and Cottrell, the left-arm seamer. Sort of set a platform, if these two can bat for another four overs, set a platform for the end, if they can get them up to 120. Having said that, Raj Nanan has heard my calls.
Well, that is one way to get off the mark, isn't it?
He's heard my calls and said, none of that. That's not happening today. First ball over, wide long on for 6. What a way to get off the mark and announce yourself. Raj Nanan is here.
Yeah, hello American Premier League. Look what I can do from ball 1.
Raj, you needed the game to start a bit earlier. The IPL auction was just a bit earlier than that first ball 6.
Well, that was a good recovery, the final ball. So the last 3 balls of that over, wicket, 6, dot. It's got it all. So end of 12, the Windies 99 for 4. I really like what I'm liking seeing as well. Yes, obviously teams playing against each other, but there's a lot of fist pumping and handshakes and sort of hellos going on out there. You know, there's players that have seen each other around the world or around different places for a long time, and then they're out there playing against or with each other. So it's, yes, competitive, but all played in very good nature at the same time.
The camaraderie seems to be of the highest standard here. Fair play awards, both teams would be very high ranking at the moment, which is good. You always want the game to be played competitively, but in good spirits. Cottrell goes short and he hits him. He's hit Finley here. I'm not sure. Yes, he's been hitting the helmet.
Yeah, helmet's coming off.
The game seems to be carrying on. I know that the physio should be running on and doing a concussion test. That was quick and short. Before Finley could get through his shot, Cottrell was onto him, hit him in the helmet. Need to have him checked out.
Yeah, nasty. I wouldn't want to be on the other end of that one. I'd be ducking and lying on the floor.
I think that was a surprise as well, as Cottrell's first over was mostly solid length ball, so wouldn't be expecting anything like this.
He comes up with the wide down the leg side. Interesting as well, because we were saying how we weren't seeing too much coming out of the pitch, but Cottrell found something there and he got that bounce. He's not a short player, and he's managed to wrap him on the head.
Shot from Raj Nanan going out to mid-off here. Man moving around quickly, restricting them to a single.
Yeah, I've been impressed by the fielding so far, the Americans actually. They seem really on it.
This has been a great fight back for them. Would be trying to restrict the Windees to...
Well, that has gone miles.
The impressive thing about that is Cottrell beat him through the ear with the slower ball, and he's just taken his bottom hand off the bat, and he's completely cleared the ground with a one-handed six. Beautiful shot by Sean Finley here. Over the man at long on. Oh, over the man at long on for six.
He's let go of it as well, gone one-handed.
This one beats him on the outside edge through to the keeper.
The left armour to left-hander. Just tucks him up a little bit for room, manages to get away and scamper through for the one.
Score moves on to 109.
Yeah, short again. Well kept down by Nanan.
Good work from Cottrell here. His 2 overs going for 13 runs. Take away that 6. It shows you how consistent he's been in restricting the batters from having too many scoring opportunities. So
you feel that just breaking up this partnership, and the Americans would really feel that they were on top. We've seen both of them can hit big, and sort of once you get them 5 down, you start heading towards that lower order. They feel they can really keep them to something.
the key for this match seems to be held by Sean Finley at the moment. He's been that one constant throughout the innings for the Windees team.
And it's interesting as well because it's like we were saying earlier, he's not actually looked particularly comfortable at times, but he's there and he's stayed and he's still working it away. And that actually, straight as an arrow, is going to be another 4 to his bank.
That has been powered down the ground. As again, as you said, it hasn't looked as fluent as Finley would have probably wanted, but he's somehow managed to find a way to score, which is the most important thing, and he's sticking around. He's helping to put up a fist and make a good scoring option here for the Americans, with a new interesting fielding position there. The skipper Stewart just standing on the circle behind the bowler for Finley. Finley moves on to 47.
Just the one. Well, the Windees are the defending champions in this tournament. They won the inaugural series 2 years ago, back in 2021. Seems a long time ago now, doesn't it? We're on the precipice of 2024 here. That's just into the body.
It's missed out there, full toss on leg, no one behind square inside the circle on the leg side.
Slightly short and just over the leaping salmon.
That interesting field position there has almost brought about a wicket. That man standing on the circle behind the bowler's head. Man at long on, running around, diving and pulling it back in. So he's restricted them to 2. Finley on to 49. And score on to 115.
And so 6 overs left in the game. Windees 117 for 4. They have got Finley out there eyeing up a half century. The left-handed opener. Raj Nanan, well, he came out and he stamped his authority on ball 1, didn't he? Launching it for 6 over long on. He's been kept quiet since then, but he's also not really had a lot of the strikes. Only faced 5 deliveries.
Will be interesting to see how the next 6 overs play out. What would be in the minds of the Windees team as a good score here? Likewise, what would be in the minds of the Americans team here as a good score to defend the Windees to and try and restrict them?
Well, he comes down the pitch, goes high, and 2 fielders come together, and it's a bit of a misfield, but they do prevent the boundary. And I mean, there's laughs from the bowler. He's finding it funny.
Well, that was a slower ball, if I've ever seen a slower ball before. That one took quite a bit of time to get to the batter, who even advanced down the track there.
Very short, and it's found the top edge. It'll land safe, and it just plugs. It's still plugging. We mentioned this slow outfield earlier, but that's just not gone anywhere.
And that brings up the 50 for Sean Finley. First 50 of season 2 of the APL. Well played to Sean Finley. 50 off 5 balls. Giving his team a foundation to work from.
Well, Nanan joins the party again. 1 bounce 4. Takes on the pace.
Nanan's hitting the ball beautifully here. He seems to be the only batter that's come to the crease that has just found that level of timing and power, that's been able to find that combination of the two and get the ball away freely. He's down the track this time. He's got a glove on it, but the keeper's dropped it. Dropped down the leg side from Nanan, who's being hitting the ball well, but decided to come down the track this time and almost lost his wicket there.
Shortish again. Arms go up, appeal goes up, finger goes up. Celebrations all round. Raj Nanan struck on the pad, and he's got to go for 13.
Raj Nanan with an enterprising wicket here. Enterprising innings, sorry. Had a bit of everything there from Raj Nanan. Impactful innings. Possibly the one that sort of ignites the rest of the innings for the Windees team. That one didn't bounce at all. Cross seam rolled his fingers over it as well, the bowler. Didn't get up, hit Raj Nanan right in front of middle stump. So he's gone for 13 from 9 balls. Now we have Terence Hines coming to the wicket.
Yeah, second wicket for Naveen. Inside 3 overs. Well, we talked about breaking that partnership. And perhaps not quite the one they would have wanted, but they'll take either. And they've really slowed down these Windees batters. Some good work in the field, some tidy bowling. And it's one of my favourite scores at the moment. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1 to come in this, the 15th over. As Terence Hines adjusts his gloves and has a boogie.
Terence Hines can be a dangerous ball striker, and the Americans would want to get rid of him as quickly as possible. And they have. One ball. So skipper Nathan Stewart, also a fellow Trinidadian, would have done his homework on Terence Hines. Goes pace off again.
Yeah, you miss, I hit. And
wicket to wicket stuff here. You miss, I hit. And he's been hitting.
Yeah, well, end of 15 overs. Terence Hines, he comes and he goes very quickly. The Windees, 123 for 6. Well, when Naveen comes back on again to bowl, because that was the end of his over, he'll be opening up the over on a hat-trick.
Well, you've got Hayden Walsh Jr. coming to the wicket here. Again, another long-term teammate of mine for our regional team, the Leeward Islands Hurricanes. He was actually the MVP of the recently concluded 50-over tournament in the Caribbean. Lots thought that he would have been reselected to the West Indies limited overs teams. Not to be quite yet, let me say. Joint leading wicket taker with Sunil Narayan, I think 20 scalps apiece. 200 plus runs at an average of 40 plus, and probably joint best field in the Caribbean with Fabian Allen.
So not a bad person to have on your side then.
Correct. There is nothing that he doesn't do on the cricket field, and good person as well. Very nice guy to be around. Actually, my roommate, so. Finley goes bang into the leg side. I'm going to take matters into my own hands. Full toss on the hips. 6 more to Finley. He's been the batter that's been in from the start of the innings. I'm not sure.
I think it's a belated half-century celebration.
Yeah, his teammates seem to have forgotten to celebrate the 50, so now they'll celebrate him on 56. Nonetheless, he's going to be an important cog in whatever end result score the Windees get up to here. He goes down the ground, just clearing that man at short mid-on as well. So taking matters into his own hands here, Finley.
Yeah, and I think that's the right approach at this. You know, only 4 and a bit overs to go. They've still got 4 wickets in the hut, and yes, his time's not look comfortable, but he is the set batter, and he needs to take on these bowlers if they really want to try and push up to sort of that 150 and beyond. And I think the game at the moment should be get him on strike.
100%, and exactly what Hayden Walsh does off of the first ball he's faced. He's pushed it out to the man on the cover boundary for a single. Brings Finley back into strike. Heavy outfield. Finley gets an outside edge just over the man at point. Doesn't run away too far, so he's only able to collect a single.
That's well dug out along the ground. And again gets Finley back on strike.
Finley seems to be in the mood of trying to take on the leg spin here. Goes hard down the ground to long off, but Sheldon Cottrell is in the way and stops it from going to the boundary. So just another single, which closes out the over on 134 for 6 with 4 overs left. Finley on 59 and Hayden Walsh Jr. on 2.
Yeah, well, that's the story of the day so far. The standout batter by no doubt Sean Finley. And now he's just being kept company by Hayden Walsh Jr, who just has to get Finley back on strike as they try and push up towards sort of 150. But also interesting that 17 extras in there. That's something the Americans might want to have a look at and have a think about.
There's not been many other contributions. Having a look at the scorecard here, just 3 other batters along with Finley getting into double figures and extras being the 4th. So the Americans have had very good day today with the ball, all told, when you add in that the extras are 17, because if you take away that 17 runs and the start that the Windies had, it would have been a different game completely. So the Americans will be looking to close out here, and if they can, they'd definitely like to get another 4 wickets. The Windies, on the other hand, trying to score as many as possible. Finley goes down to long off. The guy comes around.
Yeah, it's well fielded actually in the end there. He sort of almost ran past it, wrong-footed himself, and it was hit with quite some oomph.
Marlon Richards, that is, seems to be signalling that the ball was snaking a bit in the outfield, but managed to hold on to the tail of the snake, stop it from going away from him. Hayden Walsh Jr. dropping it into mid-wicket, getting Finley right back on strike.
Yeah, doing exactly what he needs to do. That's his job right now. Take the ones. Well, Finley could be eyeing up a red inker here if he carries on the same way. That's nicely defended. So 136 up on the board. At a time it looked like 160 might have been on for this Windy side at the beginning if they carried on in the same vein they started with, but have been pegged back massively by this American side. And Finley looks like he's struggling a little bit out in the middle. Not sure if it's a bit of cramp or just because he's been out there quite a while. As he looks to club that one away, and it'll just be the one into the leg side as square leg comes around and does the fielding. But glorious day here at the Mosa Stadium in Texas. And 2 left-handers out there with the bat in the middle. Yeah, good tidy over. Well, that's 4 overs done for Naveen. He picks up 3 for 23. Not a bad day at the office for him. Just 3 coming off his final over. So at the end of 17, 3 overs to go. The Windies 137 for 6. Now there's just a few discussions out in the middle of who's going to take on the final 3. Another wicket would be absolute gold dust for this American team. Break this partnership. If they can get rid of Finley, then they'll be feeling pretty good about keeping them down to something chaseable. Yeah, look at that. The opening partnership, almost a half century, and then wickets falling at fairly regular intervals. That 2 in 2 balls. The most recent of those, and looks like Sheldon Cottrell's going to have a change of ends. The West Indian international playing for the Americans against the Windies. Just adjusting his field. Still the breeze. Well, that has come out the hand, not how intended, and that will be signalled wide. Just got stuck in the hand of Sheldon Cottrell. He turns, he jumps, and he goes straight away. And that's clubbed back past him up to the fielder at mid-off. Good recovery, kept it wide. Well, it's up in the air. Fielder coming in, can't get there, just the one bounce. But they're taking the aggressive route now. They know they're coming towards the end of this first innings, these Windees batters. Well, Sean Finley, been out there since the beginning. 62 from 54 for the left-handed opener. And that's short, and that's hit back again past the bowler, up to mid-on. Long on, I should say. And good bit of work in the field, applauded by Cottrell, the bowler. Cottrell again over the wicket. Well, that's skewed up in the air. It's gone to deep backward square leg, and it's deep third man even, and it's sort of skewed at a strange angle. Had a bit of spin on it. He didn't know where it had gone. The fielders didn't know where it had gone. And it landed safe in the end and was picked up in the field. And they come back for two. Again, looks to club it into the leg side. Well, Sheldon Cottrell's finding something funny. He's a bit of a chuckle from the bowler. Again, short, mistimed. Well, that 150 is very much looking on the cards. 18 overs gone, 2 to come. Windees 145 for 6. And Sean Finley is the man of the moment at the moment. 64 from 56 for him, accompanied by Hayden Walsh with his runner ball 7. 2 overs still to come. Well, Sabir Rabi's picked up the 1 wicket so far from his 2 overs. He's going to take the important penultimate over, the 19th, the crucial 19th over for the Americans, hunting down another wicket. Been a change of decision. It won't be him. So Gerard well, he's having a good day. Gerard Erasmus giving us a thumbs up. Swing and a miss. Well, Marlon Richards yet to pick up a wicket today. He's got the chance now. He's been given the honour of the 19th over. Gone for just 15 so far. That's not timed, and they're going to come back for the 2. Yeah, it's good running in the end, easy as you like. Sheldon Cottrell flings it in. Mullen round the wicket, and that's well kept out. And good running again. This has been really good running from this Windees side as we push towards the end of this innings. .148 on the board. Still 9 legitimate deliveries to come. Well, he used his feet, he comes down the pitch and he swings through, he swings hard. And he looked like he was going to get 4 for that, but really quick work out in the field to cut it off before it reached the rope. And that's Sabir Ali out there. Two to come in this over, 4 so far from it. No boundaries is always a good sign at this point, and that'll just be 1. The Americans just trying to get this squeeze on, give themselves the momentum. If they can find a wicket, they'll get that momentum as they go into their batting, go into it feeling good, feeling strong, feeling unified as a team. Perhaps the smiliest man on the field at the moment, Gerard Erasmus, every time the camera finds him. Well, that's gone up very, very high. The fielder is in, should take it, and he's missed it. He's dropped it, put it down. Well, that would have been that momentum booster for the Americans just as they come towards the end of this innings, and that would have been Marlon's first wicket of the day. But as it stands, Sean Finley survives. And that brings up the 150 for the Windees. 150 for 6, having won the toss and elected to bat the defending champions. So just 6 deliveries to come. What can they make from these final 6? Sean Finley, he's been out there since the beginning. And he swings, and that's gone up in the air. Sheldon Cottrell won't make the ground, but it'll just be the one. Well, you can see what the intent is in this final over. Just swing, swing hard, make contact, and get your skates on. They look a very smiley bunch, the Windees players out to the left of me on their benches. Grins all round, and rightly so. And again, big swing. And wide long on comes out and does the fielding. Again, just the 1. And you wouldn't mind this as an American. Well, this was the missed opportunity. Skewed, and it went so high it's almost taken out the drone. Just didn't get himself set too far forward, and it ended up soaring over his head. Short, clubbed away, one hand on the bat. Fielder comes around, takes the catch. Well, it's been a phenomenal innings from Sean Finley. He came out to open, but he has to go. Sacrificed himself at the end, trying to boost those runs for his side, and he goes for 69. And it was a masterful display. He's helped get his team up to a pretty competitive total. He sort of took one hand off the bat there, didn't quite get it, and it was well fielded in the end. 2 hands above the head, and he lifts his bat as he crosses the rope, and he's applauded by Sheldon Cottrell as he passes him. So 3 deliveries to come. Windees 153 for 7.
Sort of in the ballpark area of what I had in the back of my mind would be a good score on this pitch based on, I guess, how the pitch is playing and the outfield. So that 160 region is being put out there to the rest of the teams as sort of a, not necessarily a safe score, but a score that you can have a chance to win the match with, and so other teams will be taking note of this. You can see some American players walking around in the stands on the far end.
And I think especially because they haven't really had it all their own way, these batters, and they've still managed to make the 153. And that's good running again, good awareness from the non-striker. Yeah, they started really strong and then pegged back, those wickets falling. Good fielding by this American side. But yeah, the Windies still up to 154 with 2 to come. So you're sort of thinking any total, you want to be going north of 150 really on this pitch.
At a minimum, it seems to be sort of a safe area. And he's gone. Lack of bounce again. Seems to be the undoing of all the Windies batters. Hayden Walsh swinging through, expecting a bit more than what was on offer there. The ball stayed down while his head was up. Gonna have to have a word with him. For someone that's an avid golfer, you would know to keep your head down over the ball.
Doesn't quite stretch to my crazy golf, but yeah, he's gone top of middle, bails flying in all directions. So 1 to come. Now, what can Kirk Thompson do with this? Final delivery. Well, he swings and he swings hard into the leg side, and they're going to try and come back for 2. It's really good running in the end. They do pick up 2 off the final ball of the innings. So the Windies in their 20, they make 156 for 8. 2 wickets in that over. The Americans need 157 to win the first game in this tournament, to beat the defending champions in the opening game of Season 2 of the American Premier League. 157. It's not a bad score. 156 on the board. Set 157 as a target. We think that's about ballpark, yeah?
It's about ballpark. I think both teams would be happy. If anything, the Americans would probably be the happier of the 2 teams. Heading back into the dugout, the Windies will know that they have something that they can possibly have a chance to win the game with if they bowl well. Likewise, the Americans, after the start that the Windies had in the power play, did an amazing job to pull it back to only 156. So they'd be happy going in as well, knowing that they've taken a lot of information away bowling on the track and being able to go in and plan, okay guys, this is how have a strong chance of winning the game. So it makes for an interesting second half to this game.
Well, that card really, the one to write home about, obviously Sean Finley with that 69. A few contributions in there. And with the ball, it was Sabir Rao and Naveen Stewart picking up 3 apiece. And then just the one for Amir Hotak.
Stewart was definitely the pick of the bowlers here today. And if you look at what he did, wicket to wicket, obviously started trying to bowl a few short balls, etc. in his first over and a half, but then he realized that wicket to wicket pace off is what was going to serve him best today. And once he started doing that, he reaped the rewards, not only in terms of picking up those 3 wickets, but his economy rate of 5.75, standout of all the bowlers here today.
Well, it was an impressive performance with the bat, really, from the Windies in the end. They set 157 as the target for the Americans to win this game, and now we'll have a short break before we come back for the chase.
हो गया ना कि पिक्चर खींच के इन मैच को आ गई शुरू आ गया ओके ओके पिक्चर क्या कर
Well, we saw that team, we saw the Windees team get off to a pretty rapid start, and then it got slowed down a little bit. The opening pair were going along nicely, almost that 50 partnership. And so it'll be interesting to see how the Americans go about their business as they begin this.
Will be interesting indeed. Almost a wicket first ball, almost chopped out.
Well, opening up with spin, the Windees.
And he's bowling wicket to wicket. It's a very good start here by Raj Nanan. Wicket to wicket stuff. I like his field set as well.
Well, we saw what he did with the first ball with the bat, didn't we? Launched it for 6.
And he doesn't give away much with the ball.
Yeah, really tidy. This is just what they wanted.
Looking to dispense with this slip now, adding that extra protection in the offside, having seen Navanpreet show a propensity to want to hit the ball through the offside. And rightfully so, as Navanpreet goes down the ground for 4. Nanan missing his length and accepting that invitation was Navanpreet. Didn't miss out this time, found the gap straight down the ground. Outfield was quick enough, and the Americans are on their way. 4 runs.
Good recovery.
This one to close out the over didn't bounce much.
Well, just 4 from the first over. That chase, that target 157. And a really tidy start from the Windees.
Opening up from this end seems to be Javon Sales for the Windees.
It was nice to get that first game up and running, you know, to win the first game of the tournament, especially if you're the defending champions, which the Windees are, but to get that first one under your belt and know that you've got that momentum going into the rest of the tournament. You started well, you just have to continue from there. We've got lots of games still to come, but it's nice to get the first W on the board.
Takes away that pressure. You want to try and get yourselves into a good position for the latter stage of the tournament, so to try and get that initial victory, put yourselves on the board. Whether you've played well or not as a team, it will do a lot for the team and for the morale of the group to settle them into the rest of the tournament.
Starts with the dot. Such a tidy start here from the Windees bowlers.
Doing away with the slips. Sears is going pace off into the pitch, as we've seen from his very first ball, and so they've figured that there's no need for a slip, and they've added protection, extra protection in the leg side. but there seems to be some confusion, and he's heading back into slip again. And this one has been launched.
Well, that's massive.
By skipper Stewart all the way for 6.
That is absolutely massive. That's not just 6. That's gone over the rope, the boundary hoardings, the railings, and almost landed in the visiting team dressing room.
Well, Stewart has had a sighter off of that first ball. I think that's going to be one of the last balls we see pace on from Sears here today. He's made an adjustment in his field, bringing the sweeper, the man from the deep cover boundary up, and sending back the long off.
Well, that's a really good bit of work behind the stumps. Launched himself to his left.
Here's a replay of that 6. Stewart actually came down the pitch a bit there, getting closer to the ball and extending his hands nicely through that shot.
Well, the bowler can't believe it. It's missed everything. It's missed the stumps, the keeper, and it's gone away for 4, hands on head.
Fortune favours the brave here for Stewart, who's flashed hard at this one, getting an outside edge past the slip there. So
Well, you know what they say. If you're going to flash, flash hard.
there you go. And now, interestingly enough, flash past slip and slip comes out.
It's one of those phrases. It's very weird to describe someone who doesn't know cricket.
Stewart goes bang through mid-wicket here.
Yeah, really good use of the feet. He sort of stepped back, gave himself room, and gave it a good old wallop.
Stewart is definitely looking to maximise the power play here. What a start. He's already got 14 off this over with 1 ball to come. And now the field again is being changed. So the long off comes into mid off and the mid on goes back to long on. Stewart showing a bit of dexterity there, opening up and trying to run it past the man at short third, but sort of hit it to the man directly, so there was no further damage done there. Score remains on 18 without loss after 2.
Yeah, well, after a tidy first over, that one going for 14. And that's what the Americans would have wanted.
Definitely what the Americans would have wanted. You've got the full team outside supporting their batters. Seems to be good team camaraderie there from them. And you can see that from their batters, feeling the support from their team, going out and being positive, trying to maximize this power play period. Nanan continues from the top, however, and is also continuing to just dart it into the pitch, wicket to wicket, not allowing for much room or many scoring opportunities.
Yeah, I like that they've continued with him. His first over was really tidy, got the pressure on early. And he is just darting it in, isn't he?
He is. And this one has been pushed out into the leg side where the man from long on comes in and does some fielding, restricts them to 1. Brings Nevin Stewart on strike, however, who is the danger man here. Will be interesting to see his approach against the spin of Nanan as opposed to that last over of seam up, whether he'll try to go after spinner here or whether he's waiting on seamers. Down the track and he's bowled. Nevin Stewart's short stay comes to an end. He did try to continue going at the bowlers. Nanan, wicket to wicket, you miss, I hit, not much bounce.
No, and he'd earned that one, hadn't he, as well? He bowled really tight, really tidy lines, especially in those sunglasses.
It's been the undoing of Skipper Stewart, but I think he would have been sent out to have that impact in the power play, maximize the power play and get them off to a quick start. Unfortunately, he's been dismissed halfway through the third over.
Well, it brings the South African Gerard Erasmus to the middle. Every time we saw him on the camera earlier, he was having a smile or a thumbs up or a grin of some form.
Well, he's with bat in hand now, so it's...
Let's hope he's not giving us a thumbs up while he's trying to bat.
a bit more serious endeavour for him now. So let's see if he's still smiling or if he's all business workman-like now. Tools in hand.
Well, he's off the mark, and it could. It's well fielded. It's that slow outfield, just trickling away and caught up by the long strides of the fielder. But Erasmus is up and running.
I think that there's an extra ball in the over here because that last ball should have been the end of the over, but they've managed to sneak a 7-ball over in, which may come back and have some sort of added impact on the game with that extra single, but we'll see how that works out.
So the end of 3 overs, Premium Americans 21 for 1. Yeah, and that Windees lineup, it was Sean Finley's day. He came out at the beginning. The only reason he really lost his wicket was the end. He was just trying to hit big in the final over and just didn't quite get a hold of it, let go of his bat. But it was just the Sean Finley batting performance that is the one that stands out. The others, no one particularly to write home about. Problem for the Americans with those 19 extras as well. But still managed to get themselves up to a pretty good 156, and so Americans needing 135 more to chase that down.
And we're going to have a change in bowling here. Javon Sears having an expensive first over, and with only 135 more being required, skipper Hamilton has gone to Mario Lebon, who starts with good length ball that was tucked away to man a deep backward square for a single. It's going to be interesting to see how the Windies go about things here, because I don't think it's going to be a matter of them bowling 20 overs to the Americans. It's if they bowl 20 overs, the Americans will win the match. So they need to try and find ways of creating wicket-taking opportunities here, which is the only thing that will keep them alive in this game.
This is good express pace from LeBon.
Nipping back at the batter as well. Wasn't expecting it to come back that sharply. Cut him in half. Again. Beaten in between bat and pad. Length ball. So LeBon seems to be getting a bit more out of this pitch from his height than Sales was able to extract in his early over.
That's well fielded, that as well. So how tall is he, Mario LeBon?
Not sure. I'd say from my vantage point, he looks to be 6'5", 6'6", quite a tall guy. Using that height well has not been much an offer in terms of bounce from this pitch for many of the other bowlers, but he seems to be getting it to bounce quite well. Quick single there, taking on Hayden Walsh at backward point. Hayden won't be too happy about that. Misfielding, allowing them through for a single. Score moves on to 25 for 1 after 4. Very good start, tidy start from LeBon. 1 over, 3 runs, 3 dot balls as well. Interestingly here, Nanan is going to be brought in for his 3rd over in the power play, so they're going to get rid of most of the overs in his spell inside the power play. So I guess they're backing the other bowlers to come trumps once the power play is finished.
I quite like this decision, actually, from the captain, because he is making things happen. He's had that breakthrough as well. He was really tidy in the first over too, so keep that pressure on early, push that run rate up early, and then force him to have to start trying to do something, which is then when the wickets start to fall. So I like this. He's in the rhythm and they're struggling to read him.
That's a beautiful shot going through the offside for 4. So on the rare occasion that Nanan has strayed, he's been punished through the offside here by Navanpreet. Score moves up to 30, Navanpreet up to 10.
Good recovery.
Back on his line that he'd prefer to operate. He's done an amazing job so far in terms of his economy rate, because Navanpreet, for example, is on 10 of 15 balls. So he's been able to contain the batters and keep control of this game from the Windees standpoint.
Again, darted in that time. Fielder apologises for the rocket arm.
And with just the one ball left in the over, Erasmus is back on strike. Seems like he's been out there for some time now, but he's not getting much of the strike. Backs away, slams it to the man at cover. Not able to get it through the field. Score remains on 31 for 1 after 5 overs.
Really, really good stuff, this from Raj Nanan. Yes, 6 coming from that over, but he has been tidy, and like I said, I was really happy they kept him on for that 3rd over because he's got that pressure on. He's got them to start trying to think. You saw Erasmus there having to back away, think, how am I going to change this up, give myself that space, give myself the angle, and still can't get it through. So just putting that pressure on early and forcing them to have to start thinking about changing what they're trying to do to try and get up with that run rate. And just the one more over to come in the power play as well.
And we have Laban continuing. He also had a very good first over, so they found a pair that are restricting the batters here. Starts with a dot.
Yeah, 6'5", so you're on the money with that one.
And making use of all 6'5" of that frame, getting the pitch to respond to him in a way that no one else seems to have had that type of response for the day. Evident again in that delivery, that's just been chopped down to 3rd man for a single. Score moves on to 32.
So they won't mind them dealing in singles at the moment. The Windies. That target is still 157.
As we've seen from the first innings, it gets that bit more difficult once you get out of the power play. And
well,
he's out.
It took a while. It took a while for the umpire to put that finger up. They weren't sure if there was something on it. The wicket-keeper thought there was. LeBon thought he had his man. And they waited and waited. And eventually that finger went up very slowly. But that's the 2nd wicket down. And Erasmus, he goes for 6.
Erasmus was not happy with that decision at all. You could see him gesticulating to the umpires there as if to say what happened there, but on the replay there it seemed to be close to the glove, that hip area, so what we do know is that he was given out, and the score is now 32 for 2. The Windies have made another breakthrough here. Key man for the Americans, Erasmus, has been dismissed quite early. Who's had a very good start to his spell, 1 for 4 from 1.3. Laban.
Yeah, it's completely different tactic to how the Americans started with theirs. They kept rotating the bowlers. They didn't let the Windies batters get into any kind of rhythm facing these. But actually, we've gone back to back with the bowlers here, and it's worked. You know, they're 2 wickets down early. It took until 49 runs for the Windies to lose a wicket. So they've got their tactics right here, and they've already picked up 2 key wickets with that alternating spin and pace as well.
I think what's worked for the Windies as well is that they were more proactive in the power play in terms of looking to score than the approach that we've seen from the Americans thus far. Obviously, Skipper Nevin Stewart opened the batting and he tried to play that role but got dismissed early, and then no one else seems to have taken on that role.
Right, 3 to come from LeBon. Well, he's pleading with the umpire. They think he's got something on that. And the Windies, hands on hips, hands on heads.
Well, I think they've appealed for an LBW there. That one has stayed down and probably flicked the pad on the way through. Here's the replay. Yep, LBW. Probably going over the top. Probably pitched outside leg as well.
Well, this has been really magical stuff. That's wide, that one, but just, perhaps. Le Bon has been pretty tight until here. Don't want to let those extras start creeping in. We saw the 19 extras from the Americans. Just keep it tight, keep it tidy, and keep the pressure on. Don't give them the freebies.
Le Bon seems to be making a lot happen here. Scoring doesn't seem to be an easy task of him so far today. With that extra height, getting that extra bounce, that extra pace, as opposed to what we've seen for the rest of the day. It's causing some discomfort for the batters here. And the fielding team have supported him with the addition of a slip. Closes out the over, which only goes for 2. So 2 overs for 5 runs, 1 wicket for Le Bon.
Yeah, end of the power play as well, so 6 overs gone. Americans 33 for 2. There's that equation for you. 124 still needed from just 84 deliveries. They have got the wickets in hand, but they haven't really hit 3rd or 4th gear yet. They're sort of 1st and 2nd, and they haven't been allowed to by some really good work by the Windees bowlers.
And we're going to see a change of bowling here. Hayden Walsh Jr. coming into the attack as soon as the power play is finished. I'm surprised that he doesn't have a slip in. First sign of leg spin from the Windees side of things today. Let's see if they're able to extract any turn from this pitch. But they'd be definitely the happier of the two teams after the power play in this run chase thus far. And that's out. Looking to hit this one down to the man, long on, straight back to the bowler in Hayden Walsh. Doesn't make any mistake. Cotton ball. Hayden Walsh into the attack and straight into the wickets.
Well, he barely had to move, did he? It came straight back to him. It was like a magnet to his hands. Made it look easy. This is how you do cricket. There you go. Come on. Second ball. Take a wicket. That's 3 down for the Americans now. Inside 7 overs. They find themselves 34 for 3. And in a little bit of a problem here. That run rate pushing up to 9 now. And Navanpreet at the other end is just watching.
I think they're getting a bit stuck here, but the Americans have on their side that Navanpreet has been there for some 20 balls now from the start of the innings. He's faced 20 balls, so they'll be hoping that he can steer them home.
That's well defended.
It's not something you hear quite often in T20 cricket. That just goes to show the level of pressure that the Windies have been able to put the Americans under here today.
Not timed, that one, hit into the ground, so it'll just be the one flighted delivery that I didn't quite read it. And they don't really want to be dealing in ones at the moment, these Americans. They need at least a boundary and over to try and sort of keep up with that rate that's pushed above 9 now. Darted in. Almost falls over backwards there. Well, at least his batting partner finds it funny.
Well, Hayden Walsh has completed his first over. 3 runs and a wicket. Everything seems to be going in the way of the Windies at the moment. Scores 36 for 3 from 7. But with the set batsman in Navanpreet still at the crease and his partner Amir having joined him in the last over, they're going to look to do a repair job here, short repair job. And see how best they can get to this target of 157.
It looks a long way away at the moment. They need someone to start doing the fast scoring, and they need someone to support it. And Navanpreet, 14 from 21. It's not really a strike rate you're going to write home about at the moment.
Change of bowling again. Terence Hines from this end starts with a dot ball. So what we have noticed as the mode of operations here for the Windies is that they're bowling all of their seamers from one end and all of their spinners from the other. I don't know if that's strategic or it's just panned out that way, but
well, that's really good work by LeBon. The 6'5" frame, it's a long way down to the ground, but also means you've got very long arms, so easy enough to stop it. And I thought that had 4 written all over it when it came off the bat at pace, straight back along the ground past the bowler, clubbed. But LeBon came striding round from mid-off, long off.
I think even the batter would have thought that, because he sort of stood there mid-pitch and they ended up only being able to get 1 for that.
Difficult situation this for the Americans at the moment. You know, you think we do need to start swinging, but also we're already 3 wickets down, so we can't afford to just chuck away wickets as we try and chase that run rate. And also they're not being given anything by the bowlers at the moment.
It's been pretty disciplined stuff. And what you find happening here is because there's not much scoring opportunities, the overs are going by quickly as well. We're almost through the 8th over, and that's putting additional pressure on the Windies, on the Americans here as well.
You can almost see it in the body language of these two American batters. They're continually rehearsing those shots that they keep not quite performing it how they would have liked to. But it's all very well to be able to play it as a shadow shot, but you've got to be able to find the middle of the bat if you want to chase down 157. Well, end of 8 overs. Americans 39 for 3.
Huge uphill task for the Americans. Someone has got to try and take the mantle now of being the aggressor in this partnership. We can't go for too much longer with both of them being content with 2 and 3 run overs from Windies bowlers. Required run rate now up to 9.83 on a pitch which is not been the easiest to score on all day. That should have been punished. Had enough time, that one. I think the batter would be kicking himself there, only getting a single.
Hayden Walsh Jr. with that caught and bowled, just his second delivery, so continuing with a second over. As we said, Windy's gone for that different tactic of keeping bowlers on for spells as such, as opposed to what the Americans did, which never try and let the Windies batters settle against a specific bowler. Well, he's tried to sweep that into the leg side and just completely missed it. And I think that's sort of a sign of a little bit of a desperation here. They're trying everything, all the shots in the book at the moment, not managing to get anything on it.
Hayden Walsh is hurrying through his overs here as well. Bowling it into the pitch, asking the batters to go cross-batted. And he's bowled into the pitch, sweeps, doesn't get any contact with that. Hayden's second wicket of his spell.
Yeah, well, it sort of felt like it was coming, didn't it? It was almost third time lucky. The first one, the sweep was missed. The next one, he missed completely. And the third one, it was sort of, okay, he's going to miss this. So if I bowl it on the stumps, he's going to miss and I hit. And actually, having a little bit of a chuckle, wasn't quite seen on the screen, but as the batter went off, he was rehearsing the shot and hit himself in the leg and dropped his bat, which is just about the last thing you want when you've been dismissed, to then almost fall over your own bat.
Americans falling.
And I'm sure he won't thank me for telling everyone what happened, because it wasn't seen on screen.
Americans falling into further trouble here. 41 for 4 from 8.5. New batter to the crease.
Sounds like a plan.
Having some heavy lifting to do here. But if ever there were a stage where you wanted the opportunity to do some heavy lifting, it's here at the American Premier League. And so we'll see how Hayden Walsh ends this over. Hit him on the pad, struck on the pad, first ball, LBW, and he's out. Hayden Walsh Jr. is having a time here at the opening match of Season 2 of the American Premier League. Brought into the attack after the power play had ended, and he's had an immediate impact on this game. He's now sitting on a hat-trick when he starts his next over.
Is there anyone with a bigger grin in Texas right now than Hayden Walsh Jr., grinning from ear to ear?
Googly didn't pick it, struck him dead in front, going on to hit middle and off. 41 for 5 at the end of 9 overs. Americans are deep in trouble here. 116 more required from 66 balls, and the Windees team are starting to flex their muscle on this contest, having batted first after winning the toss and choosing to put a score on the board.
Yeah, there he is, the smiliest man in Texas, Hayden Walsh Jr. struts off with his floppy cap on. That brings Marlon Richards to the middle.
Marlon Richards has a lot of work to do here. .116 from 66 balls. Terrence Hines to continue. Goes full, searching for a Yorker. Kept out. And hit away down to deep backward square for a single.
I've been really impressed by the Windees bowlers today. The batters got them up to that 156. It wasn't the most convincing of batting performances, but it was enough. 156, great total on the score. Obviously that impressive work at the top by Finley.
And what you'd see here from the Windees bowlers as well, in particular the seamers, is everyone apart from LeBon seems to be going pace off for the majority of the balls. Hines obviously went searching for a Yorker on that first ball, but then has reverted to pace off and forcing the batters to hit into the breeze towards the deep mid-wicket, long on deep square side of the ground. So they're using the dimensions of the ground with pace off to their advantage as well, and asking the batters, if you want to take me on, no problem, take me on into the breeze.
And they know that they're going to have to start taking them on, really. That run rate really pushing up. It's gone above 10 now, pushing towards 11. That's sort of danger territory for the Americans, especially with only 5 wickets in hand. So it's a difficult mental game for them.
And this is with Javon Sears having an expensive start to proceedings here with his first over for the Windees, going for some 14 runs. So they've managed to claw back well. Hines again full and straight. Modus operandi here for Hines, definitely on the fuller side. Yorkers and slow balls into the pitch.
Well, you sort of feel at this point the Americans really do need to start just trying to take this on. There's no point just prodding her around for the next 10 and a bit overs. They're not going to get up to that score if they do that. They're well behind that run rate.
And with net run rate in mind.
Exactly, thinking tournament play.
Yeah, it's best that they give themselves as best a chance, even if they do lose this match, to still keep their net run rate from having too much of a negative hit after this match.
They'll just settle for the one there. So 6 from the over, 6 singles, 10 overs gone, halfway through the chase. Americans 47 for 5, hunting down at 157. That required rate now up at 11. And the game very much in control of the Windies.
And this is going to take us into a quick strategic timeout. Players can have some drinks, much needed drinks. Americans have a chance to regroup and replan. And the Windies will be planning for much of the same. We will also take a quick break during this refreshment period and come back to you in a short moment. Well, we're back here, live at Musa Stadium after the strategic timeout. Hayden Walsh will be resuming from the Pearland end, the second half of the run chase by the Americans, 47 for 5. Walsh himself being the chief wicket taker thus far, 3 for 5 from 2 overs. Trying to resume the match without the ball. The fielder at deep mid-wicket had the ball going down to the boundary with him. We need this. This is a hat-trick ball for Hayden Walsh. Pushed away to mid-wicket for a single. Crisis averted by Marlon Richards there.
Yeah, you can't take a wicket if you haven't got the ball. Nicely worked away.
Slow and loopy that one, teasing the batsman.
Well, 157, that target seems a long way away for the Americans at the moment.
Haven't hit a boundary in quite a number of overs now, the Americans. Whilst they've been able to get singles here and there, they haven't been able to keep up with the rate, and that 157 is now starting to look like 157,000.
Well, that single did bring up the 50, so they've got something positive to think about, and that's gone through everything. And Hayden Walsh Jr.
missed opportunity.
Can't really believe it.
Missed opportunity for a stumping there. think the batter,
Hamza found himself lying down on the floor.
Hamza found himself hamstrung. That's going to be, oh, very close. Sweeping a full ball. Umpire saying he's just outside off stump. Seems to have satisfied the bowler. Oh no, that's crazy. Oh no, that's even worse. What are we seeing here today? He's hit the ball straight back to the bowler and taken off running. Non-striker was sold down the river. Hayden Walsh Jr. in turn threw the ball completely over the head of the wicket keeper, down to the man at short fine leg who misfielded that ball as well, and it went through him. So it was.
And then we saw, so this is just see this one, absolutely miles over everyone. The wicketkeeper can't believe it. And there was a sort of chase by everyone. And actually, Le Bon then came round and he made up some hefty yards, big old strides, and he was almost having to mop it up, having run round half the field. It's all going on.
I can't stop laughing. That was disastrous on all parts. And Sean Finley has seen enough and has left the field. It's been replaced. I've done my part for the day. Seems to be a bit sore, having some complications with his back, his lower back.
Yeah, pointing at his lower back there.
As Le Bon comes back into the attack.
He's had a long day, Sean Finley. He put in a hefty shift with the bat. Opened and then was dismissed. Just 3 balls from the end of their innings.
Lots of players flew in last night as well, so guys would be probably not have recovered from those flights yet.
Well, the appeal went up, I think perhaps high, getting that the bounce of Mario Le Bon. Well, they're needing almost 2 a ball here, the Americans. And they're just not being given anything by these Windees bowlers. Clinical performance from them. Yeah, that extra bounce hitting him above the knee roll. And that run rate now up to more than 2 a ball. So over 12 and over needed. And they're not going to do it in singles. Problem being, they're not really being given the chance to do it in anything else. That's nicely played. It beats a diving fielder. It's still not going to be a boundary. And it's a good bit of work out in the field. Sweeper comes round. And again, just the one. Jonathan Fu out there. Lovely looking shot. Again, just the one. Picks out the fielder at mid-on. Yeah, interesting dilemma this now for the American side. They don't just want to prod and poke and just try and bat out these overs, because they're not going to get there doing it in ones and twos. And it's not going to do any good for their net run rate. Well, he goes for the scoop. Well, innovation pays off. And that is the first boundary in a very long time. Mario Lillebond can't really believe it, but Hamza premeditated, flicked it over his shoulder and picked up 4 to close out the 12th over. Americans 59 for 5. They need 98 from 48 deliveries. Well, that's a glorious sight, if ever I saw one. Any kind of cricket pitch anywhere. There's a bit of a sorry, that's not quite a glorious sight if you're an American supporter. And Hayden Walsh Jr. back on for his 4th over. Picked up 3 wickets for 10 and he was on a hat-trick at the beginning of his previous over. The only thing he's done wrong all day was that bizarre bit of fielding off his own bowling. Attempted run out, almost went for 4. Yep, swings across the line, up in the air. And that is the first 6 off the bat of Amir Hamza. Takes on the bowler of the day so far, Hayden Walsh Jr. Launches him over square leg into the stands for 6. And that's a good recovery from Walsh Jr. Just darts it in. Got himself all in a tangle. And he's got to go. And Hayden Walsh Jr., well, he's got 4. Hamza looked like the aggressor in the partnership at the moment. Looked like maybe he was going to try and inject something into this innings. 6 wicket. And that is the beauty of Hayden Walsh Jr. today. He is having quite a day. 4 for 17 for him so far today. And the Americans 66 for 6. Well, that required rate at 12.41 looks pretty out of reach at the moment. Easy as you like. Looking to repeat that shot over deep square. Well, Hayden Walsh Jr. is eyeing himself up a 5 for today. And he's bowled him. Hayden Walsh Jr., he has 5. He's got 2 in 2 for the second time in this innings. What a day he is having. I don't know what he had for breakfast, but I'm having it tomorrow. Absolute peach of a delivery. Bails flying in all directions. Abenda's very short stay. 1 delivery. He's in, he's out. And Hayden Walsh Jr., 5 for 17 for him today. just turned back in on him, clipping the top of the stumps, and that is a very happy man. Well, the Windies are well on their way to winning their first game in their title defence. American 66 for 7. Well, Hayden Walsh Jr. finds himself on a hat-trick again in this game. He has one delivery left in his spell. He's got 5 wickets already. He's got the cake, he's got the icing, and all he needs now is the cherry on top. It's Sheldon Cottrell coming out to the middle to face the hat-trick ball. Cool as a cucumber. Hayden Walsh Jr. in the sunnies. The Under Armour thermal. Hat-trick ball. Hayden Walsh Jr. already with the 5-fer. And it's a leave. Well, bit of an anticlimax, but you can't be too unhappy with that day out with the ball. Hayden Walsh Jr., he finishes his 4 overs with 5 for 17, 2 in that over, 2 in a previous over. And at the end of 13 overs, the Americans 66 for 7. Well, that target 157 is pretty out of reach for this American side now. They need to just try and up this run rate. They're running out of wickets. They're running out of time. And that will just be one. Really convincing performance all round from the Windies in the field. Perhaps a few of them felt maybe they could have done a bit better with the bat, but they didn't need it in the end. Got themselves up to 156. And it's been well enough to defend. Unless something really magic happens here. Well, the Windies players think they've got the man here. But Sheldon Cottrell isn't going anywhere. He doesn't think anything of it. The umpire was unmoved. And we all carry on as we were. Well, that was the celebrations from the man of the moment. Lovely looking straight drive, but again, just be the one. Can't pick these gaps. Just over the bowler's head. He stuck out a big right hand, but it was going to hurt if the hand got in the way of that one. Again, just the one.
Still not halfway there yet. With only 6 overs left after this one.
Nicely clipped away, but again, there's a fielder out there. Well, at the end of all this, you imagine it be Walsh Jr. who gets all the accolades for his bowling today, his fifer, but it has been an all-round performance from these Windees bowlers, and that's well dug out.
Walsh Jr. indeed will take the leading amount of plaudits for this performance, but it has been a collective effort. We did know that Walsh Jr. would have his say on this match. 5-wicket haul in T20 cricket is always impressive, but the man here coming back into the attack, Nanan, was who started the innings and started to build that pressure from that firing before Walsh Jr. came in and sort of capitalized on that. So it has been a complete team effort, and now with the Americans 70 for 7, needing a further 87 from 6 overs, it's going to be a tall ask for Sheldon Cottrell and Marlon Richards, and some enterprising batting if they do get over the line.
Not what Sheldon Cottrell was trying to do with that, and he almost bounces away from it like an irritated child when Mum said he can't have another piece of pizza.
Bowled, and he's off. Seems to be the trend of the day. Everyone playing back with not much bounce and offer, and balls, credit to the bowlers, have been straight wicket to wicket, giving them every opportunity of collecting wickets, and the Americans slowed further into despair here. 70 for 8, arm ball there by Nanan. If you look at the way he gripped that ball, he had his seam, he had his finger right wrapped along the seam and just pushed that one through. Gathered pace off the pitch.
Well, it's a bit of a sorry sight for the Americans at the moment. They find themselves 70 for 8 after 14.2. They need another 87 runs from just 34 balls, but they've only got 2 wickets in hand, and these Windees bowlers are absolutely on form, firing on all cylinders today. The pace, the spin, whoever gets chucked the ball seems to make something happen, whether that's building pressure, taking wickets. They can do it all. And it's Sabir Rab, the tall figure, looks to be taking guard in the middle. Sabir Ali. And that's well kept out, but it's no run.
Just getting some confirmation that one of the batters from the Americans team won't be taking the field. Thus, the fall of another wicket here would be the end of the game.
Well, that will be that.
Well, guess they wanted to test that theory. That is the end of the match. Conclusive victory here from the Windees, wrapping up the victory by 87 runs. Here's a replay again. Nanan through. Sabir beating him for pace. Wicketkeeper Hamilton whipping off the bails as Sabir dragged out from his crease. Nanan finishing with 3 wickets. Hayden Walsh 5. And the Windees, the defending champions of Season 1 of the APL, off to a rollicking start here in the first match of Season 2 of the APL. Well, that has been a very good start to Season 2 here of the American Premier League. Windees team winning the toss and choosing to bat first. Scored 156 on what was a tricky pitch. Got more and more difficult to score as the game went on. The Americans would have been happy in being able to pull back the score and restrict the Windees to only 156. Americans having their turn at the crease were only able to get to 70 for 9, with one of their players not being able to bat due to injury. And so Game 1 of Season 2 of the American Premier League is wrapped up with the Windees team posing for a team photo, winning by a margin of 87 runs here today.
Yeah, convincing win for that side. They look pretty chuffed, pretty pleased themselves. Great all-round performance. It started with Finley with the bat. He really anchored that innings, and then the bowlers did the business. Shared it around a bit, but you know, you can't ignore a 5 for Walsh Jr. in there, but then also the likes of Raj Nanan, he started it off. He was economical, he was tidy, he was tight, he took wickets. And as a team, it was a pretty all-round performance.
And so, as we wait for the post-match presentations, we would like to inform you that tomorrow the APL continues with the Windees taking on the Premium Indians, of which I will be a part of tomorrow morning here at Musa Stadium.
And after that one, it'll be the Packs versus the Americans. So an exciting day. Both these teams back in action tomorrow. You're back in action, not with microphone in hand, but out on the field.
Hoping for a different result tomorrow for the Windees team at my hands. So we're going to have a bit of a practice session this afternoon.
Well, you've done all the spying now, made all the notes.
And I'm ready, prepared to take them on and go for victory tomorrow. So it was a very good game here today.
That was the story of the game today, and it was that the Windees won it pretty convincingly by 86 runs.
And now I think we head over to post-match coverage, play of the match, and for a word from both captains.
It's going to come from the side.
Walk in from here.
Okay.
the American Premier League here at the Musa Stadium. The defending champions Premium Windees took on the Premium Americans, and the Premium Windees won by 86 runs. There were a bunch of standout performances, but the few were Sean Finley's performance for 69 off of 62, Naveen Stewart and Sabir, who took 3 wickets each for the Premium Americans, but the man of the match goes to Hayden Walsh Jr. for his 5-wicket haul in his 4 overs, just conceding 17 runs. Hayden, I mean, what a day you've had.
Yeah, it's a wonderful day. You know, it's a little cold for my liking, but the ball came out really well, and you know, I just reaped the rewards.
And it's a perfect way to start out the tournament. I mean, a performance like that and a win like that, you know, talk me through. You guys got here, I believe, this weekend, the preparation, and I know you know the couple of the lads as well. You've played with them in the past, so how is it, you know, gelling out there?
Yeah, and I know most of the lads, you know, even though, you know, I probably wouldn't have met them in person. I know I've seen them around, so, you know, coming to, you know, Houston and meeting them, I think it wasn't a problem gelling. You know, it's just to go out on the field and just enjoy the cricket.
Well, first day of the tournament, first win, you know, how do you think it's going to feel for the team?
Yeah, I think the team will be buzzing. You know, when we were batting, I don't think we were panicking, but I think we just, you know, had to think about how we were going to go about it, and, you know, I think we planned well and executed well.
And one word for Sean Finley, I mean, that knockout there, you know, was crucial to get you guys those runs, and he stood tall out there. Yeah,
I think, you know, his knock was a very crucial knock because, you know, at that point we could have, you know, easily crumbled. But I think he played very well to keep us, you know, in the running and give us a good score.
Well, great performance and congratulations on the win.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. That was Hayden Walsh Jr. Well, that's it here from the presentation. We will see you guys tomorrow bright and early at 8:30 a.m. with a doubleheader.
From us here, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a great day to have you, and we look forward to seeing you again for